Brothers and sisters, Black Power. This is part two to the first video I was telling you about. This is part two. Now, we left off at friendlies will not be wearing ties, meaning that those who were in on the assassination will not be wearing neckties. And once again, King and Jesse argued about wearing a tie. So, they were supposed to eat at Billy Kyle's house, and faggot, homosexual Billy Kyle's, Reverend Billy Kyle's. They were supposed to be eating at his house at 6 o'clock. Now, they were in room 306, and they were moved upstairs. They initially had the room downstairs, 206. And they were moved upstairs so the U.S. Army Green Beret sniper team could get a better shot. And you'll hear Billy Kyle's will mention that in a minute. I'll show you what he said. I'll tell you what he said concerning that. But also, Raul Pereira, who is a mercenary for the CIA international hitman, who had James Earl Ray in the white Mustang with him. And what he did, he tricked James Earl Ray into taking the rifle upstairs in the rooming house where his fingerprints could be all over the rifle. Raul had on gloves. James Earl Ray did not have on gloves. So when he fired the rifle, there were James Earl Ray's prints on the rifle. That's how James Earl Ray was charged with the murder of Dr. King, in which Coretta and the King children would visit James Earl Ray twice a month and put money on his books while he was in prison, because they knew, Coretta knew that James Earl Ray did not kill her husband, in which James Earl Ray died in the penitentiary of cirrhosis of the liver. So here they are entering room 306. You know, there were so many people in on this assassination, and if they weren't in on it, they knew about it. You know, there's King laying, Dr. King laying on the ground with the towel over his face. Now everybody's pointing to one way, and how can that be? When their backs were turned, how did they know where the bullet came from? And they left Dr. King just laying there. Now the cleaning lady, as you can see with her cleaning cart, this is 6 in the evening. What is she doing with the cleaning cart? And she received $1,000 every Christmas until she died from an anonymous giver for keeping her mouth shut, because she knew what was going on as well. Now, in the book by William Pepper, who's Dr. King's lawyer, a lady, Ernestine Campbell, said that she saw Jesse come up the steps and putting something shiny object in the tote bag, because King was shot with a rifle and a handgun. And Judge Joe Brown did the ballistics on the King assassination. He determined Dr. King was shot with a rifle and a handgun. He was given $2 million in a court TV show to keep his mouth shut. That's how the Judge Joe Brown show came about. And King and Jesse were in the courtyard, so Dr. King finally told Jesse prior to him getting shot, okay, you don't have to wear a necktie to dinner. And so Jesse said, yeah, because all you need to go to dinner with is the appetite. And that's when the first shot rang out. You put 2 and 2 together. Billy Kyle's. He was the one at the 30th anniversary of Martin King's death that said they were on the balcony and he moved out of the way so they could get a clear shot, and the shot rang out. And you can go online and go on YouTube and look up Jesse Jackson killed Martin Luther King. Dick Gregory and Steve Coakley did the lecture on that at the Slave Theater in New York. And they'll show you a clip of Billy Cowles saying that he moved out of the way so they could get a clear shot. A lot of people don't know Dr. King had turned into a revolutionary. That I had a dream bullshit was nothing but some bullshit. And he said it, that he had put his people in a burning house. And he said out of his own mouth that the I had a dream speech really was a nightmare. You know, you don't have to believe me. Go look it up. Go look it up. You know, Dr. King, who is an ancestor now, you know, one of our greatest heroes. And see, that's why it's so important that we create our own schools so we can educate our children on our history. Because the cracker's going to is telling our children right now that we were slaves. Abraham Lincoln freed us. And Dr. King said, I had a dream that we all should get together and kiss white folks' ass. And that's why our children are so confused and fucked up now, because they're not given a true a rundown of their history. You know, and Bobby Kennedy. See, they weren't the squeaky clean motherfuckers that niggas think they were. You know, Bobby Kennedy gave J. Edgar Hoover permission to put the wiretap on Dr. King. And he said one wiretap, but they left the wiretap on until Coretta passed. And in turn, how did J. Edgar Hoover repay Bobby Kennedy? By killing his ass. But the way he got the wiretap, he threatened Bobby Kennedy that if he didn't give him the wiretap, he was going to reveal the pictures of them taking Marilyn Monroe's body out of that hotel. He got Garvey. Hoover got Garvey. He got Noble Drew Ali. He got Malcolm X. Fred Hampton. And Bobby Kennedy. Laying here with a hole in the back of his head. From Sirhan, who is still incarcerated to this day. Now, let's talk about some of these mysterious deaths and murders of our leaders and our most powerful scholars that the black community has ever seen. Dr. Amos Wilson, who wrote the blueprint to Black Power. He died mysteriously. Believe he was poisoned. Dale Jones, the war correspondent. A lot of people have forgotten about Dale Jones. But Dale Jones was a powerful, powerful brother. He is a great ancestor. He has he has 2 books and he has 2 DVDs called Culture Bandits, and I forgot the other name of the other DVD, but Culture Bandits is powerful. Huey P. Newton, who was executed, was set up in Oakland and murdered. But see, a lot of people, excuse me. Yeah, I just got the news that Bill Cosby said, he's getting ready to do 3 to 10 in a Pennsylvania state prison. Now, why would first of all, this should create tension and uproar in the black community. First of all, these crackers, see, it's these stinking motherfucking white bitches. Now they're laughing and having a great motherfucking time that this man's 80 years old with declining health, and whether he makes it out of prison. Because they want to get rid of him. They want him dead. They want to scar his name. But what about the bitch, Carolyn Bryant, that lied on Emmett Till and said that this shit never happened? Dude, you motherfuckers never say nothing about that. Never. So what will how will the black community respond to this shit? Because what if this was your father or your grandfather? And these ugly, this is what I tell y'all. I don't know how many, leave these white bitches alone, man. Leave these stinking motherfucking white cave dog bitches alone. You niggas don't get enough of this shit, man. They are nothing. They are nothing. These bitches were paid to bring Bill Cosby down by this so-called motherfucking the television networks, NBC, all these motherfuckers, Zionist motherfuckers, these Russian motherfuckers that killed his son. Everybody was in on this shit. Even Donald Trump, the entire system of racism, white supremacy was in on this shit. And then a lot of you niggas gonna agree with these goddamn crackers. How in the fuck can he savage rape it? Once again, rape is a savage goddamn act. But you don't say anything about Roman Polanski and these other motherfuckers. Ted Cruz, this motherfucker in Texas, he just laughed. Donald Trump laughed at the UN speech. But like I said, what about Carolyn Bryant on the Emmett Till case? Where that boy was mutilated and brutally murdered because the white bitch lied. They are them some lying motherfucking dogs. So I need to inform you all of this because you have to find out what you're gonna do from this point on. Where was I? Huey Newton. This was an orchestrated hit on by the FBI, to get rid of Huey P. Newton. And just in the event, even though Huey P. Newton was caught up in the drug subculture at the time, that's all they needed to set him up for the murder, to be murdered. And so, because in the event that Huey Newton may have cleaned his act up, and got off of the drugs or whatever, and re-revolutionized himself, he would have became a major threat to the system of racism, white supremacy. So, to avoid those possibilities, Huey P. Newton was executed in the middle of the night on the sidewalk in Oakland. Dick Gregory. who was murdered as well. I believe most of these murders of our great leaders and scholars are by way of ricin, which is a odorless, tasteless poison, and Dick Gregory, who was in optimum health at the age that he was, optimum health, would just up and be hospitalized and pass away like that. I'm not buying it. Darren Seals, who was a strong force in Ferguson during the Mike Brown murder. After the Mike Brown verdict, he gathered up all the revolutionaries and warriors that he could in Ferguson to go against the system up there in Ferguson, Missouri. And he has footage on YouTube on how they were harassing him. They was fucking with him and his little brother, his younger brother, and they ultimately caught him by himself, set him on fire. His truck was ignited, and he was shot several times in the head. Darren Seals was a powerful young brother that would have been a force to been reckoned with in the black community. Delbert Blair, it's kind of bizarre and fucked up on the turn that Delbert Blair's life took. Ended up being homeless, literally on the streets. As powerful of a man that he was. And this is what we allowed to happen to our elders. Because we would rather get views on YouTube putting somebody down or knocking the elder instead of helping them. The YouTube views are more important. Steve Coakley, he was murdered as well. And the thing about Steve Coakley, the day he passed, it's been a couple of years now, the day he passed was 411, April 11th. 411 meaning information. Dr. Sebi, who was murdered as well in Honduras, which I think was an international hit. I think that the U.S. government worked in conjunction with the Honduras government, and they murdered Dr. Sebi. Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, who was supposedly have had 2 major strokes in her home prior to being rushed to a hospital. Back door was kicked in. Prior to her having the strokes, she gave me a petition to go out in the community to get signed that the Zionist Jews were trying to build a Jewish school, and they wanted to tear her house down, bulldoze her house, and build a Zionist Jewish school on her property. And she refused after living there for over 40 years. And so, all of a sudden her back door is kicked in. She's had 2 major strokes prior to being rushed to the hospital, and being brain dead. And that's signs of somebody coming in there, and catching her on the bed and possibly ejecting her with something. This is after the Hidden Colors. This is after, she's been on Donahue. She debated William, this white cracker, this Hitler protege, William Shockley, who Dr. Wilson put the crush on his motherfucking ass in debate. Get the DVD. And may all these brothers and sisters, rest in power and continue to guide us and protect us. And the one and only, the general, non-compromising with the devil under any circumstances and conditions. That's Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I had the pleasure of meeting and being around in the presence of him on a couple of occasions. Doc was a strong, powerful brother. And what you saw is what you got. He was like that 24/7. And he was poisoned as well. And the new Black Panther Party has tried to cover it up, meaning that someone in that party may have played a role in the murder of Dr. Khalid. We know his wife did. His son turned into a bitch and disowned him, changed his name. So this is circumstances surrounding this man's murder. And so this is why I'm telling you all that I do extensive research. I don't play around. I try to give y'all what I can, the knowledge and information that I can give you. Because it's very, very important that we show up to grow up. That we step to this motherfucking cracker, like never before. This is not a joke of us dealing with the system of racism, white supremacy. Something has to be done for us to be liberated. A lot of us gonna have to lose our lives. A lot of us gonna have to give our lives honorably, with honor, like the Japanese do with the kamikaze. They are proud, and it's an honor to give their lives. The same with the Shiite Muslims, ISIS, and other organizations that I don't fuck with, but I respect their commitment. I respect their commitment for change. And they will do anything for the cause. For whatever they stand for, they're willing to give their entire lives up. And we have to respect that. We have to be able to respect and give these brothers and sisters their props, because we don't do it. We don't stand up for shit. Give me a second. We don't stand up for shit. Just as the shit that we do. Look, like Tiffany Haddish, for example. This is a straight, stupid opportunist that will suck and fuck anything to get ahead. Anything to get ahead. And what she does is make a mockery of black women in her goddamn so-called stand-up or whatever, because I don't see her as being funny. I see her as being a doofus ass white boy come drinking hoe. And that's just what she is. She's married to a motherfucking cracker. And that's all she deals with is crackers. And then you had motherfuckers talking about, you had to respect that she was homeless and did this and did. That has no excuse for her eating these white boys' dicks up. And she still does that. She's a buffoonery bed wench, white boy come drinking slut bitch. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. She ain't shit. She ain't worth shit. You know, and she was the one that bit Beyonce's thumb. And she tried to blame it on Taraji P. Henson. And the reason why she blamed it on Taraji is because then everybody would be asking her, meaning that she would have airtime from different motherfucking networks asking her those questions. See, this hoe ain't stupid. This hoe is a conniving slut. Taraji is well, even though she's a coon, but she's well established. Far well established than some Tiffany Haddish. And Tamara Mowry, Tia and Tamara Mowry's husband, who is a racist motherfucker. You know, and she gets on TV, she plays on the real. There's nothing real about it. There's nothing real about you. Nothing. You know, and she goes on there defending this motherfucking cracker, talking about he's not racist. My husband is not racist. He is a motherfucking racist. Because both of you motherfuckers support, you are Trump supporters. Both of you. And then you're going to defend him when about him defending and taking the side of George Zimmerman. He supports George Zimmerman. And she's another white cum drinking hoe. It's an opportunist. You know, sister's not on the show because the sister has a motherfucking G. She got this motherfucking ice ache, this hairy motherfucking mountain dog. And here's George Zimmerman. This is what he does today, signing Skittle wrappers, and here he is signing Confederate flags. Because it's an honor for him to be able to shot a motherfucking young black man and got away with it. Clearly got away with it. Now he's a millionaire. And you know who I blame? Trayvon Martin's father is a cold puss fuck nigga. Tracy Martin, look at the camera. You are a cold fuck ass weak puss nigga, man. You supposed to been locked up. You supposed to been smoked this motherfucking cracker. I would have blown tomato sauce out his motherfucking face. You sit there and let him murder your motherfucking baby. Your motherfucking baby, and he walks around a millionaire off this shit. And what you do, you and your wife gotta go city to city lecturing on how to cope and how to keep a happy face when a cracker kills your motherfucking baby. Y'all, man, you is a fuck puss ass nigga, man. But see, when somebody black say something like this about you, you catch a greyhound to get to me, which you be making a motherfucking mistake. But you'll catch a greyhound to get to me for what I'm saying. But you live in the same state this motherfucking cracker lives in. He didn't move no motherfucking way. And you haven't done shit to him. You don't say nothing in the media about him or nothing, man. Kevin Hart. He's another motherfucking little homosexual. See what he does? See, crackers like him. He's not a threat. He's a little teeny motherfucker. You know, with a butt like a woman. Little teeny motherfucker. He's always smiling, heavily melanated, very dark skinned. with them big white teeth and big white eyes. See that old all that type of shit, and tap dancing and, that type of shit. See, he's what they call a safe Negro. He's harmless. He talks about, he clowns himself, talks about his wife and family, publicly clowns them, and white people love him. Plus, he plays the homo card too. Right there, that's a blurry picture of him and The Rock kissing. Just because The Rock is big and he played football and all that shit, and supposed to be half black, that shit doesn't mean nothing, man. That's how Hollywood got him. Cause see, when The Rock didn't fuck the creator of I Am Legend, the director, they blackballed him, had him doing kiddie movies and shit like that till he learned his lesson. You know what I'm saying? They gave it to Will Smith because Will Smith will fuck anything to get a movie deal. And so now The Rock has agreed to play ball. And so this is how they do. See, Kevin Hart and them played, Kevin Hart's asshole is about as big as a soda can. You probably can put a loaf of bread in Kevin Hart's ass and hide it. Because this is the shit that they want. Two fucking fags with this little boy. Now, what type of upbringing can he have with this My Two Dad shit? They don't have any clue of the black experience whatsoever. So what they got to do is teach him how to be white, even if they have to beat it in him. Then when he gets a certain age, because remind you, these are faggots, and that boy is not related to them. So, they'll call, one of them will call him up to the room or go in his room one night, and make him put the motherfucking meat in his ass. See, people don't know. I've been dealing with these children for 17 years, so I've known what these boys have told me that has been in these type of conditions and situations. Brothers and sisters, we got to learn to move forward. We got to move forward. And right now, this is just exhausting right now for me. So I'm gonna be getting back with you all with another video, and as always, Hotep Black Power.